Hey everybody, it's Wendy. Welcome. I am so excited to show you today's project. I'm using the Elfie stamp set again. I am obsessed with this stamp set and I'm going to be coloring it totally different today with the Stampin' Blends. I kind of created a little bit of my color scheme, but it's not exactly what it'll end up being. I'm using Memento Tuxedo Black ink to stamp my images, and then I'm going to color with my Stampin' Blends. And I do just want to share that when you use Stampin' Blends, I've had a few people ask me why there's bleed. Okay, so there's multiple reasons that they could be bleeding outside the lines. One is if you're using substandard paper. If you're going and getting your paper from Walmart and stamping and coloring on it, you are not going to have the same type of results that you see other card makers have that use a more expensive product. Now, I'm not knocking anybody for using those things. If that's what you can afford and you want to use that, that's totally fine. But there is a level of quality in the cardstocks that I use to be able to get the good blending and to avoid bleeding and seeping. I just showed you, I wrote down my idea for the colors because I really didn't want to create this project twice. A lot of times, okay, side note real quick. I'm going to make this elf a little girl with long hair. So I just took my Copic Safe markers. These markers are safe for coloring with alcohol markers, or these pens, I should say. And I just drew in a little bit of long hair behind her. And right now it kind of looks a little bit funny, but when I color her hair and it all comes together, it looks great. So you can just modify stamps sometimes very easily by doing little things like that. So I just used that Copic Safe marker or pen to draw that in. Okay, so I forget even what I was talking about earlier, but I'm using Flirty Flamingo Dark and Light, and I'm going to try to walk you through the coloring as much as possible today. I'm speeding it way up because this took me about 30 minutes to color, and so I went ahead and sped it way up. I'm using the dark Flirty Flamingo on the lower areas and then the light on the top and blending them together. And you can see that it looks nice and shaded. And then, of course, on her little trousers, I'm using it dark right up underneath the skirt area and then dark on the bottom of the shoes and then light at the top. This really creates a little extra dimension. Now, I wanted all of her trim for her outfit to be white, but you can't just leave it white. You need to add just a little bit of smoky slate light and then go in with an alcohol blender and soften it just a little bit. So I just used the color blender there, colorless blender, to do that. Okay, now I've got the dark pineapple, and I'm coloring the insides and then going with light pineapple punch and coloring the outsides, and even actually leaving a little bit of white on the very, very edges of the bow. Going in and doing some adding the dark pineapple to her bells and buttons, and we're going to use dark soft suede and light soft suede for her hair. And I'm just putting the dark in the areas that would naturally be darker, which would be under her hat, behind her neck, under her arm. This little boy is going to be a little African-American elf, so I've colored him with the bronze marker, and then I'm using dark and light black for his hair, and I'm using pink on their cheeks, Flirty Flamingo on their cheeks. So I used light Flirty Flamingo on the Caucasian elf, and I used dark Flirty Flamingo on the African-American elf. Okay, so this is where things go awry. I decided to use Bermuda Bay for the hat of this elf, and I ended up not caring for it. So I do change this later, but you're not going to see that change for a little while. But I did include it because I wanted to recolor all of this for you and show you what I did. So this is like a little important tip here. I'm actually using dark Calypso Coral for the very back of this Flirty Flamingo area to really darken that up because I wanted it darker than the dark Flirty Flamingo would provide. So sometimes you can use other markers to help with your shading. So if you do a dark Calypso Coral, dark Flirty Flamingo, and light Flirty Flamingo, you get the result of the stocking that you see there. Here I'm using dark Pool Party going around all the edges of the bow, and then light Pool Party for the rest of the present. And this is where I decided I didn't really want Bermuda Bay included. I wanted Pool Party. So I went ahead and had to restamp and recolor the little elf in the stocking because I didn't like his hat being so dark. Now, I saved him because I thought, well, in the future, maybe I will use him for something else. Since I colored him completely, I could put him on a card or a tag or something like that. But I went ahead and recolored the little African American elf to be the right colors that I wanted him to match a little bit better to the girl. Okay, so story time. I am recording this video on Saturday, October 26th, and I am rushing to get it done before the power goes out. Our power is being shut off again today and probably will not be restored until Monday, possibly Tuesday. So I'm trying to get blog posts and stuff done ahead, which frankly, they should always be done ahead. But, you know, life is crazy and busy. And so sometimes I don't get stuff done ahead of time. And so we've now have generators and we will be running those to keep all of our refrigerated and stuff like that. They're not whole house generators, but they're going to do the trick to keep us from having to lose food again and stuff like that. But I plan around 2 o'clock on powering down my computer, and I am just going to create and craft all weekend because there's nothing else I can do. And so I should be able to come back with plenty of content for blog posts because I will have so much time to create. Okay, skipping to the project here real quick. I am using one of the acetate boxes from Stampin' Up. You can purchase these from Stampin' Up. And they're fantastic for cards, but they're also really great for holding candy and stuff. I used the stitched rectangles and layered them together like this and cut out a piece of thick Whisper White cardstock. And so I've got this really great little stitched rectangle frame. I'm going to use Tombow glue or multi-purpose glue, whatever you want to call it, to glue this down to a piece of acetate. The acetate is cut at 3 3/4 by 5 1/8. And if you want to know the measurements of all your rectangle framelits and all of that kind of stuff, I actually have a framelit cheat sheet that I sell for $13.95. And there is a link to it below the video. So if you want to purchase that cheat sheet, you can do that there. And it will get emailed to you automatically. If you don't receive it in email, you can contact me. But make sure you check your spam folder first because sometimes it goes there. Okay, so I'm just lining this up with my acetate sheet and gluing it down. And then I just want to let it sit a second. And I did have a little bit of glue seep out, which was kind of a bummer. So I'm just kind of wiping that away. And then I'm just going to allow this to sit and dry. I am going to flip it over, and then I'm going to use foam adhesive strips to go all around the edges. Oh, look, you can see the reflection on my face. Foam adhesive strips all around the edges to create my shaker area. I want to also say that the sequins and the shaker bits that I'm using are not from Stampin' Up. One of them is from like Target's Dollar Bin that I got years ago, the big white snowflakes. And then the other ones are from Pretty Pink Posh. Now, Stampin' Up! Actually has some really beautiful snowflake sequins out right now, but I have used them all. So I didn't have any, so I had to improvise. So the truth is, I have a sequin problem. I've got a drawer full of them, and I thought, what a better way to use a bunch of them than for this. So I used up some that I need to use up. Because, when we use stuff up, that means there's room to buy more stuff. Okay, so back to stories. So I'm trying to think of what else is going on. Like, so many crazy things. We've been getting lots of questions. My husband is a power lineman. So I have had people ask me how he's dealing with like all the crazy power outage stuff. Well, he does not work for PG&E. He works for a different company. So he's not really affected at all by the outages. However, with the wind event that we're supposed to be getting, we're supposed to have like 30-mile-per-hour winds. It's totally possible he could end up getting called into work just for the area that he works in to have help restoring power. So we'll see how the weekend goes. It could be interesting. In other news, I'm trying to think. There's really not much going on right now. Things are a little quiet, which is lovely because honestly, I can't take anything else at the moment. Between Grandpa and the power stuff, I feel like that's enough. I don't want anything else. I don't want to have to tell any fun stories. I just want to be able to, or like crazy stories. I just want to be able to have fun and craft. There is a scrapbook expo coming up next weekend near where I live. It's in Sacramento. And I'm considering going to that, even though honestly probably wouldn't buy anything. I am thinking about going. So these are the little white snowflakes that I got from Target. And after I finished this project and took photos and the whole 9 yards, I thought, I should adhere some of these to the front of the box too. So I did do that. So you guys just didn't see that, but they're really cute. And then I have these really, really old Martha Stewart sequins that are pink, and I thought they would go really good with the little girl thing. And so I added those into the mix as well. So I've got a little bit of white snowflakes, pretty pink posh iridescent snowflakes, and then these really old Martha Stewart star snowflakes that are kind of pinkish. I will link to whatever's still available below the video. If you don't see a link to it, that means that it's gone and unavailable. So I'm just going to put this straight as I can, line this box up over the top, and smush it down. And that will seal the back of the foam tape to the front of the box. So I can flip it over and give it an extra push. And look isn't that gorgeous? Wouldn't it be fun to get a present like that? So I did think maybe I would make something like this for all the kids and put gift cards in it for Christmas. I thought that could be fun. I have lots of nieces and a nephew, and I thought I got them mostly gift cards for Christmas because honestly they're at the age they really enjoy going shopping and just kind of doing their own thing. So I thought I got them each like a fun little lip balm thing from Ulta, and then I also got them all gift cards. So they should just have fun going shopping with them. So I'm thinking maybe this could be a fun way to give them their presents, is to make little shaker boxes, and then inside of it is their gift card and some candy or something like that. So I don't know. We'll see. These are time consuming. This partly because I chose to color and hand cut out these elves. So of course that made this whole situation much more time consuming than it needed to be. But so if there is a stamp set that has coordinating dies that you like, you could just use that and then it wouldn't be as time consuming. Fussy cutting these guys out was definitely took some time. So I'm adding just regular old snail adhesive to the back of these little elves and adding them to the front. I know my lighting is a little bit bright here, so you can't really see the colors as well as I'd like you to. So make sure you go over to my blog and check out the photos there. What I ended up adding in this box was just some buttermints because they're wrapped in silver and white, and so I thought it would be pretty behind the shaker. I didn't want to put something in there that was like brown candy or something like that and have it mess up the colors of my shakers and my elves. So that's the project for today. I hope you enjoyed it. I think it's absolutely adorable. And you could totally do the exact same thing on the front of a card. But I just thought it'd be fun to put it on front of a box. So anyway, yeah, that was it. And then I decided to go in last minute with Linka Stella, of course, and add some shimmer to the ornament and their hats and the girls' outfit. If you need any of these products or want any of these products, I do sell them. I am a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, so you can purchase them from me at shop.lovinstampin.com. And there is a link below the video to that. And there's also a link to my blog post that has all the photos of this cute little project. And I type out a few of the dimensions of things and stuff like that, so you have all the info you need to create it yourself. Thanks so much for tuning in. If you want to see another video from me, you can click on either one of the videos that you see here. Click the little circle with my face in it to subscribe to my channel. And again, shop with me at shoplovinstampin.com, and you can also purchase that cheat sheet below in the description. Bye-bye.